Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the human ship Prometheus, watching the massive space station grow larger on the main screen. The Galactic Council's headquarters looked like a crystal flower floating in space, its transparent walls glowing with soft blue light. After 15 years of working with alien species, Sarah still felt amazed every time she saw it. "We're getting clearance to dock, Captain," said Lieutenant Park from his position at Communications. "Bay 7 as usual." Sarah nodded. This was her 5th trip to the Council headquarters, and everything seemed normal. The human delegation was here for the monthly meeting where different species shared updates about their territories and projects. Humanity had earned respect over the years by sharing medical technology that saved millions of lives and terraforming methods that turned dead worlds into gardens. "Take us in slowly," Sarah ordered. She liked to give her crew time to admire the station. Most of them had never seen anything like it before joining the diplomatic fleet. The Prometheus was one of 12 human ships that made up their diplomatic fleet. Each ship carried about 200 people, including diplomats, scientists, engineers, and security personnel. Today, they were bringing news about 3 new worlds that humans had successfully terraformed in the Outer Rim. As they docked, Sarah felt the familiar vibration through the ship's hull. The artificial gravity shifted slightly as the station's systems took over. She straightened her blue diplomatic uniform and checked her appearance in the mirror. Her black hair was pulled back neatly, and her face showed the confidence that came from years of successful negotiations. "Captain, we're getting a priority message from the Council," Lieutenant Park said, his voice sounding confused. "They want all human ships to dock immediately. They're saying it's for special security measures." Sarah frowned. In 15 years, she had never heard of special security measures. The Galactic Council prided itself on being a peaceful organization. Did they say what kind of security measures? "No, Captain. Just that all human vessels need to be secured before the meeting begins." Something felt wrong, but Sarah couldn't put her finger on what it was. The other human ships were already moving toward their assigned docking bays. She could see the Darwin and the Mandela on her screen, both following the same instructions. "Follow their orders," Sarah decided. "But keep our engines on standby, just in case." The docking process took longer than usual. Instead of the normal automated systems, alien security teams boarded each human ship to verify identification. The teams included Zephyrians with their tall, crystal-like bodies that sparkled in the light, Vex Collective members who looked like giant insects with multiple arms, and Luminals who appeared as floating balls of pure energy. Sarah met the security team at the airlock. The leader was a Zephyrian named Kethva, whose crystal face showed no emotion. "Captain Chen, we need to escort your senior staff to the council chambers immediately." "That's unusual," Sarah said carefully. "Normally we have time to prepare. Our presentations first." "Orders from the High Council," Kethva replied in his musical voice. "All human representatives must attend immediately." Sarah gathered her senior staff, Commander Rodriguez, her second-in-command, Dr. Williams, their chief scientist, and Ambassador Thompson, their main negotiator. As they walked through the station's corridors, Sarah noticed more security teams than usual. The normally open and welcoming halls felt tense. The council chambers were different too. Instead of the usual circular arrangement where all species sat as equals, the humans found themselves in the center of the room, surrounded by representatives from dozens of alien races. The 3 most powerful species, the Zephyrians, Vex, Collective, and Luminals, sat together on an elevated platform. High Counselor Zeth Prime, the oldest Zephyrian, stood up. His crystal body rang like a bell as he moved. "Humans of Earth," he began, "we have gathered today to address a growing concern about your species." Sarah felt her stomach drop. "What kind of concern, High Counselor?" "Your rapid advancement troubles us," said Hive Queen Vexa, her insect-like mandibles clicking as she spoke. In just 15 years, you have terraformed 47 worlds and developed medical technology that surpasses species who have been spacefaring for thousands of years. We have shared our discoveries freely, Ambassador Thompson said, stepping forward. We have helped every species that asked for assistance. That is exactly the problem, said the Luminol representative, its voice coming from everywhere at once. You advance too quickly. You change too fast. You are unpredictable. Sarah realized with growing horror that this was not a normal council meeting. Are you saying we're being punished for helping people? We are saying you are dangerous, Zeth Prime replied. Our analysis shows that if your advancement continues at this rate, you will surpass all of us within 50 years. We cannot allow that. The room filled with alien voices, all agreeing. Sarah heard phrases like too aggressive, uncontrolled growth, and threat to galactic stability. She looked around and saw that every other species was nodding in agreement. Even the races that humans had helped were supporting this decision. What are you proposing? Sarah asked, though she was afraid she already knew. Humanity will be removed from the Galactic Council, Zeth Prime announced. Your ships will be confiscated, your people will be relocated to a quarantine system, and your advancement will be limited to ensure galactic peace. You can't do this, Commander Rodriguez shouted. We have done nothing wrong. You exist. Hive Queen Vexa clicked back. That is enough. Suddenly, Sarah understood why the security measures had been necessary. This wasn't a trial or a hearing. This was an execution. The aliens had already decided to destroy humanity, and they had lured the entire human diplomatic fleet here to prevent any warning from getting back to Earth. I need to contact my ship, Sarah said, trying to keep her voice steady. Communications have been blocked, the Luminal said. Your ships are being boarded as we speak. Resistance will result in immediate destruction. Sarah's hand moved to her communication device, but she knew it was useless. However, she had one advantage the aliens didn't know about. Every human ship had an emergency quantum transmitter, hidden and shielded from detection. It could only send a short message, but it might be enough. While the aliens continued talking about humanity's crimes and their generous offer to let humans live in exile, Sarah pressed a hidden button on her uniform. The emergency transmitter activated, sending a burst transmission toward Earth. The message was simple. Betrayal. Council. Hostile. Prepare. The transmission lasted only a fraction of a second, but Sarah prayed it would be enough. If Admiral Torres received the message, Earth would know what had happened here. If not, humanity would walk unknowingly into the same trap. Captain Chen, Zeth Prime said, You and your people will be taken to holding areas while we prepare your new home. We regret this necessity, but the peace of the galaxy requires it. As alien guards surrounded the human delegation, Sarah looked back at her. Fellow humans. They all understood what was happening. 15 years of friendship and cooperation had meant nothing. The galaxy had decided that humanity was too dangerous to exist as equals. But as the guards led them away, Sarah smiled grimly. The aliens had made one critical mistake. They assumed that the 12 ships of the diplomatic fleet represented humanity's full space capability. They thought they knew everything about human technology and advancement. They were about to learn. How wrong they were? The message was sent, and Admiral Torres would receive it within hours. When he did, the galaxy would discover what humanity looked like when it wasn't trying to be friendly. Sarah Chen walked toward her cell, already planning for the war that was about to begin. Admiral Marcus Torres was drinking his morning coffee when the quantum alert sounded in his office. The sharp, urgent tone cut through the peaceful atmosphere of Luna Command like a knife. In 25 years of military service, he had heard that sound only during drills. Sir! Lieutenant Commander Ramirez burst through his door without knocking. Priority quantum transmission from the diplomatic fleet. Eyes only, maximum security. Torres set down his cup and moved to his private terminal. His fingers flew over the quantum decryption keys, unlocking the message that had traveled faster than light from the Galactic Council station. When he read the 3 words, his blood turned to ice. Betrayal, Council hostile, prepare, get me. General Harrison, Director Nakamura, and Admiral Volkov, Torres said, his voice deadly calm. Conference room Alpha, 5 minutes. Enable full security protocols. Yes, sir. Should I alert the diplomatic corps? No. And cancel all my appointments for the next 48 hours. As Ramirez left, Torres walked to his office window and looked out at the blue-green Earth hanging in space. For 15 years, humanity had played the role of the eager student, the grateful junior partner in galactic civilization. They had shared their best technologies, helped terraform worlds, and saved millions of alien lives with human medical advances, all while keeping their most important secrets hidden. The 3 other leaders arrived within minutes. General Harrison commanded Earth's ground forces, Director Nakamura ran the intelligence division, and Admiral Volkov oversaw the hidden fleet projects. Together, they formed humanity's real leadership, the group that made decisions the public never knew about. The Council has betrayed us, Torres said without preamble, displaying Captain Chen's message on the main screen. Our diplomatic fleet is captured or destroyed, and we must assume they're planning to move against Earth. How long do we have? Asked General Harrison, a woman whose gray hair and scarred hand spoke of decades in combat. Unknown. But if they've taken our people hostage, they might try to use them as leverage first. Torres moved to the room's central console and placed his hand on a bioscanner. It's time to activate Protocol Lazarus. Director Nakamura, a small man with sharp eyes, leaned forward. Are we certain? Once we activate Lazarus, there's no going back to the way things were. The way things were is over, Torres replied. The galaxy has shown us what they really think of humanity. Now they'll learn what we really are. The bioscanner accepted Torres's handprint, then requested confirmation from the other 3 leaders. One by one, they placed their hands on the scanner. When the 4th confirmation was complete, a new voice spoke from the walls. Protocol Lazarus activated. All hidden assets coming online. Estimated time to full operational status, 36 hours. Across the solar system, things began to change. On the dark side of the moon, massive doors opened in what looked like empty crater walls. Inside, shipyards that had been working in secret for over a decade powered up their construction lines. Ships that existed in no official records began, moving toward launch positions. On Mars, underground facilities that were officially listed as mining operations started producing weapons that no alien species had ever seen. Asteroid bases that supposedly collected minerals were actually manufacturing centers for the most advanced technology humanity had ever created. Show them the real numbers, Torres ordered. The room's displays lit up with data that would have shocked the Galactic Council. Instead of the 12 ships they thought comprised humanity's space fleet, there were actually over 3,000 vessels hidden throughout the solar system. Instead of the basic weapons and shields the aliens had seen, humans had developed quantum-fold drives, singularity cannons, and adaptive AI systems that learned from every battle. How did we keep this hidden for so long? Asked Admiral Volkov, though he knew the answer. He had helped design the concealment systems. The same way we've hidden everything else, Director Nakamura replied. We showed them what they expected to see. Peaceful explorers with impressive but limited technology. Meanwhile, we were learning everything we could about their capabilities and developing counters for every weapon system in their arsenal. The truth was that humanity had been preparing for this possibility since their first contact with alien life. While human diplomats spoke of peace and cooperation, human engineers had been designing ships that could defeat any known alien vessel. While human doctors shared life-saving treatments, human weapons designers had been creating tools of war that could level entire fleets. The aliens think they know us, Torres said, studying the deployment patterns on his screens. They've seen our diplomatic ships, our medical technology, our terraforming equipment. They think they understand human capabilities because we've carefully shown them exactly what we wanted them to see. General Harrison smiled grimly. They're about to learn the difference between human diplomacy and human warfare. The hidden shipyards were already launching the first wave of humanity's real fleet. These ships bore no resemblance to the peaceful exploration vessels the aliens knew. They were sleek, dark, and built for only one purpose: combat. Their hulls were made of adaptive smart metal that could reshape itself during battle. Their weapons could tear holes in space-time itself. "What about our people on the council station?" Admiral Volkov asked. "We'll get them back," Torres promised. "But first, we need to make sure the aliens understand their mistake." Director Nakamura pulled up intelligence reports that had been gathering dust for years. "Our analysis suggests the 3 major council races have been planning this for at least 2 years. They've been coordinating their fleets and sharing intelligence about human activities." "They're afraid of us," Torres realized. "Our advancement rate scared them. They saw how quickly we developed interstellar travel, how easily we solved problems that took them centuries to figure out. They decided to eliminate the threat before we became too powerful." "Too late," General Harrison said with satisfaction. "We've been too powerful for years. We just let them think otherwise." The massive screens around the room showed ship after ship emerging from hidden bases. Dreadnoughts the size of small cities, equipped with weapons that could crack planets. Stealth frigates that could become completely invisible to any known sensor. Carrier ships that launched swarms of AI-controlled fighters. "Deploy Ghost Squadron. First," Torres ordered. "I want the Council to understand that their safe rear areas don't exist anymore. Hit their supply depots, their communication relays, their military bases. Make them realize they're fighting an enemy they can't see or predict." "What about civilian populations?" asked Director Nakamura. "We target military assets only," Torres said firmly. "We're not like them. We don't punish entire species for the decisions of their leaders. But anyone wearing a military uniform who serves the Council is now considered hostile." Admiral Volkov was already coordinating with the fleet commanders. "Captain Vasquez is requesting permission to take Ragnarok and her battle group into Council. Space immediately." "Granted. Tell her to make an impression." As the orders went out, Torres reflected on how completely the situation had changed in just a few hours. This morning, humanity had been a junior member of a peaceful galactic community. Now, they were about to reveal themselves as the most dangerous military force the galaxy had ever seen. The aliens had wanted to contain humanity's advancement. Instead, they had unleashed 15 years of carefully hidden preparation and innovation. They had turned humanity's greatest ally into their most terrifying enemy. How long before they realized their mistake? General Harrison asked. Torres watched as the last of the hidden ships cleared their launch bays and began forming battle groups. "About 72 hours. By then, it will be far too late to take it back." The message had been received, and humanity's answer was already on its way. Captain Elena Vasquez stood in the command center of the Ragnarok, watching her tactical display show absolutely nothing. To anyone looking at their sensors, this area of space was empty. They would be wrong. Around her, invisible to every detection, method known to galactic science, floated the largest human warship ever built. The Ragnarok was 2 kilometers long and equipped with weapons that could destroy entire fleets. More importantly, it could do so while remaining completely undetected. "Ghost phasing holding steady at 99.7%, reported her weapons officer, Commander Park. "We're completely invisible to their sensors." Elena nodded. The ghost phasing technology was humanity's greatest secret, developed during 10 years of studying alien sensor systems. By shifting slightly out of normal space-time, human ships could become undetectable while still being able to observe and attack targets in normal space. "Any word from the other ghost ships?" Elena asked. Shadow's Edge reports successful infiltration of the Vex supply depot at Kepler 442, said Lieutenant Torres from Communications. Silent Thunder has destroyed 3 Zephyrian communication relays without being detected. Death Whisper eliminated an entire luminal patrol squadron. They never knew what hit them. Elena smiled coldly. For 3 days, humanity's Ghost Fleet had been striking targets throughout Council space. Military bases exploded without warning. Supply convoys vanished between star systems. Communication networks went dead with no explanation. The Council. Races were starting to panic, and they had no idea why. "Captain, we're approaching the target," announced her navigator. "Zephyrian Naval Base, Delta 7. Exactly where intelligence said it would be." Elena looked at the massive space station on her main screen. Delta 7 was one of the Council's most important military bases, home to over 200 Zephyrian warships and 50,000 personnel. It was heavily defended with energy shields, particle cannons, and sensor arrays that could detect a single fighter at 10 light-years distance, none of which could see the Ragnarok. "Analysis complete," reported her science officer. "The base has standard Type 7 shields, quantum resonance sensors, and plasma defense grids. Our weapons should penetrate their defenses with 95% efficiency." "What about civilian casualties?" Elena asked. "The base is military only. No civilian population detected." Elena had been chosen to command the Ghost Fleet specifically because she understood the difference between warfare and murder. Humanity was at war with the Council's military forces, not with innocent civilians. Every target had been carefully selected to minimize civilian casualties while maximizing military impact. "Begin the attack. I want this base completely destroyed, but I want it to take exactly 7 minutes. Let them send distress calls. Let them panic. Let them wonder what kind of enemy they're facing." The Ragnarok's weapons systems came online. Singularity torpedoes materialized in normal space directly inside the base's shields, bypassing all defenses. Quantum pulse cannons fired from impossible angles, their energy beams appearing from empty space to slice through the station's hull. Elena watched the tactical display as the Zephyrian base tried desperately to fight back. Their weapons fired randomly into space, hoping to hit something they couldn't see. Their sensors scanned frantically, finding nothing but empty vacuum. Their commanders screamed for reinforcements that would arrive too late. "They're launching fighters," Commander Park reported. "Looks like about 50 Crystal Wing interceptors." "Let them come. Show them how helpless they are." The Zephyrian fighters spread out in attack formation, their weapons charging for combat against an enemy they couldn't locate. The Ragnarok fired precise bursts from its point defense systems. One by one, the fighters exploded with no indication of what had destroyed them. To the surviving pilots, it looked like their squad mates were simply disintegrating for no reason. "Incoming transmission from the base," Lieutenant Torres announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies, asking who's attacking them." "Let me hear it." The voice of a terrified Zephyrian commander filled the bridge. "Unknown attackers, please. Identify yourselves. We cannot see your ships. What do you want? Why are you doing this?" Elena activated the communication system. When she spoke, her voice was transmitted from multiple points around the base, making it impossible to determine her location. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the human warship Ragnarok. You are being destroyed because your council chose to betray humanity. This is what happens when you mistake mercy for weakness." "Humans?" The alien voice cracked in disbelief. "Impossible! Your fleet was destroyed. Your ships are primitive compared to ours." "The ships you destroyed were our diplomatic fleet," Elena replied calmly, watching as another section of the base exploded under her guns. "You never saw our military fleet. You never even imagined we had one." She cut the transmission and turned to her weapons officer. "Finish it." The Ragnarok's main guns fired in unison. Beams of concentrated dark energy struck the base's central core, causing a chain reaction that tore the entire structure apart. In less than 2 minutes, one of the Council's most important military bases was reduced to expanding debris. "Any survivors?" Elena asked. 17 escape pods. Standard procedure? Yes. Damage their engines so they can't escape, but leave life. Support intact. I want witnesses to report what happened here." As the Ragnarok moved away from the destruction, Elena studied the tactical map of Council space. Red markers showed where Ghost Fleet attacks had occurred over the past 3 days. Supply depots destroyed, communication relays eliminated, military bases reduced to scrap metal, patrol fleets that had simply vanished without a trace. "Captain, we're receiving orders from Admiral Torres," Lieutenant Torres reported. Elena read the message and felt a grim satisfaction. Phase 2 was about to begin. "Set course for the Vex Collective's home system," she ordered, "and send a message to all ghost ships. It's time to show the Council what real terror looks like." "Ma'am, should I maintain ghost phasing?" "No. When we enter the Vex system, I want them to see us coming. I want them to know exactly who's about to destroy their home fleet." The plan was working perfectly. For 3 days, the Council races had been fighting shadows, trying to defend against enemies they couldn't see or understand. Their military confidence was shattered. Their supply lines were broken. Their communication networks were crippled. Now it was time for the next phase, direct confrontation. Elena would take the Ghost Fleet into the heart of Council territory and challenge their main battle fleets to open combat. When the aliens saw how easily human ships destroyed their best warships, they would understand the true scope of their mistake. "Ghost phasing disengaged," Commander Park announced. "We are now visible to standard sensors." "Good. Send a message on all Council frequencies. Tell them the human Navy is coming to collect our people. Tell them that every day Captain Chen and her crew remain prisoners, we will destroy another of their worlds. Tell them that they started this war, but we will finish it." Elena looked out at the stars ahead, knowing that somewhere in that darkness, her fellow humans were being held prisoner by aliens who thought they were the superior species. Soon, Captain Chen and her crew would be free. Soon, the galaxy would understand what humanity really was when it stopped pretending to be weak. The Ghost Fleet moved through space like death itself, invisible when it chose to be, unstoppable when it revealed itself. Behind them lay the wreckage of the Council's military power. Ahead lay the alien homeworlds, where the final lessons would be taught. Elena smiled as she watched the stars. The aliens had wanted to see humanity's true nature. They were about to get their wish. High Counselor Zeth Prime stared at the tactical display in the Council's emergency command center, his crystal body flickering with stress patterns. In just 1 week, the humans had destroyed over 40 military bases, eliminated 3 entire patrol fleets, and crippled the Council's supply network. Worst of all, they had done most of it while remaining completely invisible. "How many ships do we estimate they have?" Zeth Prime asked the assembled military commanders. General Crix Va, the Zephyrian fleet commander, shifted uncomfortably. "Based on attack patterns and response times, we believe they have at least 500 vessels of unknown design, possibly more." 500? Hive Queen Vexa's mandibles clicked rapidly in agitation. "Our intelligence said they had 12. Ships total." "Our intelligence was wrong," admitted Director Flux 9, the luminal spy chief. "The humans have been deceiving us for 15 years. Every piece of technology they shared was deliberately limited. Every capability they demonstrated was carefully restricted." Zeth Prime felt something he had never experienced before: fear. The Zephyrians had ruled their part of the galaxy for over 10,000 years. They had advanced technology, powerful weapons, and vast fleets. Yet somehow, these young humans had built a military force that could strike anywhere and disappear, without a trace. "What about the ancient weapons?" Zeth Prime asked. "The Forerunner artifacts?" A tremor went through the room. The Forerunners were an extinct race that had once controlled the entire galaxy before mysteriously vanishing millions of years ago. They had left behind powerful artifacts that most species considered too dangerous to use. The Keeper's Council has agreed to release 3 artifacts, General Krixva said quietly. The Void Hammer, the Reality Anchor, and the Star Killer. That's forbidden technology, Hive Queen Vexa protested. The treaty clearly states, the treaty doesn't matter if we're all dead. Zeth Prime's voice rang like breaking glass. The humans are destroying us piece by piece. They appear from nowhere, destroy our forces, and vanish again. Our greatest weapons can't even detect them. Unknown to the council leaders, Commander Kai Thompson was listening to every word. The Human Special Forces officer was crouched in the ventilation system above the command center, wearing a stealth suit that made him invisible to all known sensors. He had been gathering intelligence for 3 days, learning everything he could about the Council's desperate plans. Kai activated his quantum communicator and whispered into it. Shadow Base, this is Ghost 1. The Council is activating Forerunner artifacts. Repeat, they're using ancient weapons. Request immediate extraction and fleet support. The response came back instantly. Confirmed, Ghost 1. Captain Vasquez is en route with the strike force. Complete your mission and get out. Kai's mission was simple in concept, but deadly in execution. He needed to steal one of the Forerunner artifacts before the Council could use it against humanity. Intelligence suggested that these ancient weapons could destroy entire star systems or tear holes in space itself. In the wrong hands, they could end human civilization. The Void Hammer is being moved to the primary battle fleet, General Krixva was saying below. Admiral Thex Nor will use it to destroy the human home system. What about the Reality Anchor? Zeth Prime asked. It will be deployed here, around our primary worlds. If the humans attack our home worlds, the anchor will trap them in normal space, where our weapons can destroy them. And the Star Killer? Reserved for absolute emergency. If all else fails, we can use it to destroy any star system the humans are using as a base. Kai had heard enough. The Council was planning to commit genocide, using weapons that could destroy entire solar systems. He had to stop them. But first, he needed to get one of those artifacts to human scientists who could figure out how they worked. Moving carefully through the ventilation system, Kai made his way toward the artifact storage facility. According to his intelligence, the Forerunner weapons were kept in a maximum security vault 3 levels below the command center. Getting there would require passing through dozens of security checkpoints, but his stealth suit should handle most of them. 20 minutes later, Kai crouched outside the vault entrance, studying the alien security systems, energy barriers, motion detectors, quantum locks, and armed guards. It was the most secure location he had ever seen, designed to keep out entire armies. Fortunately, he wasn't an army. He was something the aliens hadn't planned for. A single human with 15 years of studying their technology and finding its weaknesses. Kai activated a device that looked like a simple metal cube. The cube projected a field that disrupted the quantum locks, causing them to reset to their default state. While the locks were cycling, he slipped through the energy barriers and past the motion detectors. The vault itself was enormous, filled with artifacts that hummed with ancient power. Kai could feel the energy radiating from them, making his skin tingle and his hair stand up. Some of the artifacts looked like weapons. Others looked like simple geometric shapes. All of them felt dangerous. The Reality Anchor was easy to identify. It looked like a metal sphere covered in glowing symbols, about the size of a basketball. According to the files Kai had stolen, it could lock space-time in place, preventing faster-than-light travel or advanced maneuvering within its area of effect. Kai carefully removed the Reality Anchor from its mounting and placed it in his equipment pack. The device was surprisingly light, but he could feel it vibrating with contained energy. He was carrying something that could change the laws of physics themselves. Alert! Security breach in Vault 7. The alarm began sounding as Kai triggered. The exit sensors. His stealth suit could fool the entry systems, but the exit sensors were designed differently. Ghost 1 to Shadow Base, Kai said into his communicator as he ran through the corridors. Package acquired. Need immediate extraction. 30 seconds out, came the reply. Get to the outer hull. Kai fought his way through the station as alien security forces closed in around him. His stealth suit was failing under the stress of combat, making him flicker in and out of visibility. Zephyrian guards fired crystal weapons that could shatter steel, while Vex soldiers used plasma cannons that turned corridor walls into molten metal. Finally, Kai reached an outer airlock and activated his emergency beacon. Seconds later, the human stealth ship Shadow's Edge materialized beside the station. The ship's hull opened, and mechanical arms reached out to grab Kai as he jumped from the airlock. Package secured, Kai reported as the ship's medical team checked him for injuries. We have the reality anchor. Excellent work, said Captain Morrison, the ship's commander. Now let's get this thing back to our scientists before the Council realizes what we've stolen. As the Shadow's Edge vanished, back into ghost phasing, the Council's forces were still searching for the infiltrator. They would soon discover that one of their most powerful weapons was gone, stolen by a species they had dismissed as primitive. Meanwhile, Admiral Thex Nor was loading the Void Hammer onto his flagship, preparing to use it against Earth itself. The ancient weapon could supposedly destroy an entire star system, turning planets into cosmic dust. He planned to show the humans what happened when they challenged species that had ruled the galaxy for millennia. What Admiral Thex Nor didn't know was that Captain Vasquez and the Ragnarok were already waiting for him. The human ghost fleet had been tracking his movements for days, preparing to intercept his battle group before it could reach human space. The Council had made their desperate gambit, reaching for forbidden weapons from a dead civilization. They thought these ancient artifacts would give them the power to destroy humanity once and for all. They were about to learn that some gambles have consequences no one can predict. Admiral Marcus Torres stood in the command center deep beneath Earth's surface, watching the greatest fleet in galactic history approach his home system. On the massive holographic display, over 10,000 alien ships moved in perfect formation toward Earth. The combined might of the Zephyrian Empire, the Vex Collective, and the Luminal Federation had come to end humanity once and for all. Admiral, they'll be in weapons range in 6 hours, reported Colonel Singh from the tactical station. Should we activate the planetary defense grid? Torres shook his head. Not yet. Let them get closer. Let them think they've won. The truth was that Torres had been expecting this moment for 15 years. From humanity's first contact with alien life, he had been preparing for the possibility that peaceful coexistence might fail. What the aliens saw as Earth's defensive preparations, he had designed as something far more ambitious, the transformation of humanity's entire home system into the ultimate weapon. Status report on Annihilation Protocol, Torres ordered. All systems green, replied Dr. Sarah Kim, the chief scientist who had spent a decade designing the impossible. The gravitational manipulators are online. The quantum field generators are charged. The solar collectors are at maximum capacity. We're ready. Torres looked at the tactical display again. The alien fleet was massive beyond anything he had imagined. Zephyrian crystal ships that could shatter planets. Vex biovessels that could adapt to any attack. Luminal energy constructs that existed partially outside normal space. Each individual ship could destroy a human city. Together, they represented the concentrated military power of 3 galactic empires. It didn't matter. Sir, we're getting a transmission from the enemy fleet, said Lieutenant Commander Ramirez. Admiral Thex Nor wants to speak with you. Put him through. The holographic display shifted to show a massive Zephyrian whose crystal body was covered in military decorations. Behind him, Torres could see the bridge of what had to be the largest warship ever built, filled with alien officers preparing for battle. Admiral Torres, Thex Nor said. his voice carrying the arrogance of 10,000 years of galactic dominance. "I am here to accept your unconditional surrender. Your resistance ends now." "I'm curious," Torres replied calmly. "What makes you think we're going to surrender?" "Look around you, human. I have brought 10,000 ships to your pathetic system. I have weapons that can crack your world like an egg. Your entire species could not build a fleet large enough to challenge even one of my battle groups." Torres smiled. "You're right. We couldn't build a fleet large enough to stop you." "Then you surrender?" "No. We built something better." Torres nodded to Dr. Kim, who activated the first phase of Annihilation Protocol. Across the solar system, installations that the aliens had dismissed as simple mining operations or research stations began to reveal their true purpose. On the dark side of the moon, massive doors opened to reveal weapon systems that dwarfed anything in the approaching alien fleet. On Mars, the entire planet's surface reconfigured itself as hidden missile silos emerged from beneath the red soil. In the asteroid belt, rocks that had seemed natural suddenly activated powerful engines and began moving into formation. "What is this?" Admiral Thexnor demanded, his confidence wavering as his sensors detected the emerging human forces. "This is who we really are," Torres replied. "For 15 years, you thought you knew humanity. You saw our diplomatic ships and assumed that was our military. You saw our peaceful colonies and assumed we were weak. You were wrong. The alien fleet was now detecting thousands of human ships emerging from hiding places throughout the solar system. Sleek destroyers rose from camouflaged bases on Europa. Massive dreadnoughts uncloaked near Jupiter's moons. Entire battle groups materialized from what had appeared to be empty space. "Impossible," Thexnor whispered. "Our intelligence said you had 12 ships. Your intelligence saw what we wanted you to see. Every human ship you've encountered in the past 15 years was deliberately designed to appear primitive. Every weapon system we demonstrated was intentionally limited. Every technological advancement we shared was carefully selected to hide our real capabilities." Dr. Kim activated the second phase of the protocol. Around Earth, space itself began to change. The planet's gravity well started fluctuating in ways that violated known physics. The local space-time manifold began to ripple with artificial distortions. "Admiral," Colonel Singh reported, "the alien fleet is trying to retreat, but they can't. Our gravitational manipulators have them locked in place." Torres had turned Earth's entire solar system into a trap. The gravitational manipulators could create artificial black holes, redirect asteroids at near-light speed, and prevent enemy ships from escaping to faster-than-light travel. The aliens had flown into a system that was itself a weapon. "You wanted to see humanity's true nature," Torres said to the increasingly panicked alien admiral. "You declared war on us because you were afraid of what we might become. Let me show you what we already are." Phase 3 of Annihilation Protocol activated. The sun itself began to pulse with artificial energy as massive solar collectors redirected its output through quantum field generators. Beams of concentrated stellar energy, each one capable of destroying a moon, lanced out toward the alien fleet. The first beam struck Admiral Thexnor's flagship directly in its center. The ship's shields, designed to withstand the firepower of entire fleets, collapsed instantly. The vessel itself, 3 kilometers of crystalline armor and advanced weapons, simply ceased to exist. "This is Admiral Torres of the Human Defense Force," Torres broadcast on all frequencies as his system's weapons began systematically destroying the alien fleet. "You came here to eliminate humanity because you feared our potential. Instead, you've discovered our reality." Across the solar system, the hidden human fleet engaged the scattered remnants of the alien armada. Ships that had taken decades to build were destroyed in seconds by weapons the aliens had never imagined. The Zephyrian crystal vessels shattered under quantum bombardment. The Vex bioships were torn apart by artificial singularities. The luminal energy constructs were dispersed by field disruptors designed specifically to counter their unique nature. "Please," came a transmission from one of the surviving alien commanders. "We surrender! Stop the attack!" "Surrender?" Torres replied. "You didn't offer our diplomatic fleet the chance to surrender. You didn't give Captain Chen the option of peaceful resolution. You decided that humanity was too dangerous to exist." The final phase of Annihilation Protocol engaged. Every artificial gravity well in the system synchronized, creating a series of space-time distortions that tore the remaining alien ships apart at the molecular level. In less than an hour, the greatest military force in galactic history had been completely annihilated. When the battle was over, Torres activated the quantum communication array and sent a message that would reach every inhabited system in the galaxy within days. "This is Admiral Marcus Torres, commanding the Human Defense Force. The Galactic Council has been dissolved. Any species that wishes peaceful relations with humanity may send diplomatic representatives to the Sol system. Any species that chooses hostility will be treated as the Council fleet was treated today." He paused, looking out at the debris field that had once been 10,000 enemy ships. "For 15 years, humanity offered friendship to the galaxy. We shared our knowledge, saved your people, and helped build your worlds. You repaid us with betrayal and attempted genocide. This is our response. We are not the weak species you believed us to be. We are not the primitive race you thought you could eliminate. We are humanity, and we have just begun to show you what that means." As the message transmitted across the galaxy, hidden human bases throughout known space began to reveal themselves. On worlds the aliens thought were uninhabited, human colonies that had been concealed for decades activated their defense systems. In systems the Council believed were under their control, human ships emerged from stealth to accept the surrender of local forces. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's true expansion had been hidden as carefully as their military strength. They had not been confined to a few dozen worlds, as the aliens believed. They had been quietly establishing themselves throughout the galaxy, waiting for the day when pretense was no longer necessary. That day had arrived. Captain Sarah Chen, rescued from the Council station by human special forces, stood beside Admiral Torres as they watched the last alien survivors being taken prisoner. "Was this always the plan?" she asked. Torres nodded. "From the moment we met our first alien, we knew this day might come. We hoped it wouldn't. We tried everything we could to avoid it, but we were prepared. And now? Now the galaxy learns to live with us as we really are. Some species will choose friendship. Others will choose resistance. Both choices will have consequences." As Earth's sun set over the command center, humanity looked out at a galaxy that would never underestimate them again.